Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amit Elfasi. I'm a council member of Las Vegas, Florida, I call it now. And I've been Vegas. I've been asked to introduce our next speakers, but just a moment before, to speak a little bit about my experience in Gaza, and I just chose like a one operation. Now, I served in the military 20 years ago in the IDF. I feel old right now by saying it, but I don't really feel like that actually. So I served in a unit called שייטת 13. That's the equivalent of the American Navy SEAL, and we were doing a lot of operations back then in 2006, right after Gilad Shalit was kidnapped. And one of the operations that I remember, we were flipping every rock we could just to find Gilad Shalit or any piece of information. And one of the operations that I remember was we had to capture someone in Gaza, and this guy really was fighting until the last bullet he had. We had to demo the whole house until we got to this guy, and we found him in a little room with another person. And I'm talking about 2006. And I wonder, why is this guy? I mean, we had to get his family out. Some of them got hurt, and I wonder why is this guy stayed until the very last moment in this little room. And there was another person that we did not expect to capture. The intelligence did not give us any information about that guy. When we took that guy, in particular, I actually caught the other guy, which looked a bit different, sounds a bit different, but I had no idea who is this guy. When we gave them to the Shabak and we gave those two guys, I saw that all of them were very, very surprised. And when I asked one of the guys what happened, who is this guy that we just captured, the guy, and they say that this is an Iranian engineer. Back then in 2006, that nobody knew about him, not even the intelligence. And we went to get a different guy. We came back with engineer from Iran. So I'm not surprised that Iran is so involved, and Iran implement all the cancer that they did in Gaza and in Lebanon. So this is a small story from my experience 20 years ago, and I'm sure there are much more interesting stories now. Just so you to know, Gaza is a very dense population, very dense city, and it's extremely hard to fight in urban cities when it's extremely dense. The civilians that you think that they are non-involved in terror, they actually help the Hamas, and everywhere you go, they report, and it's extremely hard. So I salute these guys coming back from the field, and I'm going to introduce our next speakers.
Just a second. Before
Yes.
you are doing it, I'm sorry, I just got a warning. It's me again. I am very sorry. We cannot take any photos. Please do not take any photos because of the sensitivity of the guys. We cannot have it leave the room. So please do not take any videos or photos. Okay? Trust you guys. Thank you.
So keep it up. Amit Govrin, רותם ביטון, אחיה רבי, יואב מרציאנו, and Yoni Kampiski is the moderator.
You can take my picture. No problem. We're good. And I'm going to be without the mic, also one of our friends here. And I want to tell you, first of all, that the fact that I'm here without the microphone, some are with, that shows exactly what IAC is all about. Everyone feels at home during this Shabbat, and way to go to IAC. So you heard the names of the people, the heroes that are with us today. True heroes, but as you'll learn and as you'll hear, the simplicity of the bravery, it's part of their DNA, it's part of our DNA, it's part of your DNA, and that's what you'll hear today. You know, we're hearing so many big headlines. October 7th, it's not even a date, it's not even a tragedy, it's October 7th. I think the goal today is to delve into the stories, the personal stories, the person who came back from a wedding, the person who woke up on Shabbat and didn't understand what was happening. And that's what we're going to hear today, because October 7th is our story, is a story of people and a story of bravery. So I want to jump into the stories right away, and we'll begin, of course, with that day, October 7th, and we'll start with Achia, also without the mic, then we'll get to the mic soon. Achia, October 7th. Achia was wounded on October 7th, and you'll hear about that as well. At the beginning, Achia, you didn't understand what was happening, right?
Right, I'm not so much understanding. I was at my home. I live in Yeshuv Alon. It's far. You can hear?
Oh, that's not good. That'll be the deal. No mic standing.
אני אשב ואני אדבר חזק יותר. אני אשב פה, הכל טוב. So, I not so much understand
Don't deal with that.
what's happened. I was at my home. My team friend called me, and he told me, listen, there is terrorists in Sderot. It's gonna be a war. You need to come fast. Okay, so I thought there is a terrorist, and it's happened that sometimes call for me, and they said there is a war, there is something like this, but I say, okay, it's happened, I will come, and I think that when I come, it's finished. So I wake up, I open the phone, and then I started to see videos in the Telegram, and I think that you see it also. So then I start to understand that, okay, it's a different, but not really understand how many, and I think that until I go to, עד שהגעתי לבית חולים,
To the hospital.
to the hospital, I don't understand, לא הבנתי את גודל האירוע.
Only after you wounded, you understand the big
Yeah,
picture.
just there I started to,
There was a moment where I understand that you did understand that it was life-threatening. Tell us about that. You took your dog,
at morning you know what is this kit?
Dog tags.
dog tag.
Dog tags, yes. So at morning when I say goodbye to my parents, I remember that I took the
Dog tag.
dog tag, and I thought to myself that my feel was, this is my last day that I will see my parents, so I take it just, אני רק רוצה שיהיה יותר קל שיזהו אותי אחרי זה, כאילו.
Just so it'll be easier to identify him after. We all know what the reason that the soldiers had the dog tag, and it really was very important on October 7th. So he even thought about that on his way out of home. So we're going to continue. We'll get back to your story. Rotem. Rotem is from the Oketz unit. That's the canine unit with the dogs. So let's begin with October 7th. October 7th, when you know what, pick up the picture. We'll hear the story of the dog, but just we get into the character. Turn it around. This is Rotem, and what's the name of the dog?
Hugo.
Hugo, of blessed memory, and we'll hear that as well. But Rotem, October 7th, tell us what you do. Tell us what you do also in terms of your specific unit and what the goals of your unit.
Okay, so first of all, thank you for coming. My name is Rotem, and I will tell my part in 7th of October. I was in my home. It was a Saturday morning, and I woke up at 7:30 a.m. and I opened my phone, and I saw the same video from Sderot, the pickup truck full of tourists from Sderot, and I knew this place very well because I've spent a gap year in Sderot, so I know this place perfectly. And I immediately woke up my parents. I told them, listen, there is a war right now going in Israel, and this situation is not normal, so let's start to pack my things. I started to pack the things, and I rushed to the unit, and I arrived to the unit, and as you said, we as soldiers didn't understand the full situation. Me personally, I didn't want to open my phone. I started to hear like that there are videos of horrible things, so I didn't want to open the phone. So we all, as soldiers, we didn't know the full situation. We didn't know what's happening in the south, in the border. So it was very unclear. And so in the evening, I joined a team from Oketz, and actually that's the first time that it happens in the unit. I joined. It was a soldiers that still in training. We took something like 20 soldiers, and another 2 soldiers with dogs, and we were rushed to the south together. And we had two teams, one in Kibbutz Karmia, another one in Be'eri, and I joined the one that in Kibbutz Karmia, and I participated in the fighting. It was like 4 days of fighting.
What do you remember from the moment where you started seeing terrorists in front of your eyes, and maybe also understanding the amount of terrorists?
So it took me like 1 or 2 days to understand the full situation. I started to see terrorists. I started to see the results of the terror attack, and it's horrible. It was horrible. It was like you're fighting, and you need to understand during the fight what's going on. And also, in the 7th of October, I lost my commander, Aryeh Ziring. You can see, where's the poster? There is a small picture of Aryeh there. And I heard the news about Aryeh in the middle of a fight in Karmia. And you need to understand also that Aryeh is dead, and also to fight, and also I don't know, you need to understand, you need to survive, yeah. So
we'll get back to your story, and we'll talk about also your brave dog and the work, the life-saving work that your unit does. Major Amit Govrin, we heard you at the plenary talking about October 7th. So I want to jump in already to the moments and the incidents where you understood the value of leadership. The value of leadership when we're in the midst of war, and war is chaos, is balagan, as you would say in Hebrew, but leadership has to be there. Tell us about a few incidents.
Okay, so for some of you that didn't be in war, in battlefield, you must know one important thing, that war is a completely chaos. And as a commander, as a company commander of 120 soldiers, your main role is how to make cosmos from chaos. This is the main role, how to make order. And for this couple of minutes, I will give you a little bit, put you a little bit in the shoes of a company commander in the fighting in Gaza. We've been in an offense, before a big offense in Jabalia. My battalion was the first in hand of the whole division. Our mission was to put all the division into Jabalia to conquer the field. And I miss some people. And we need to bring people from base training, young soldiers that didn't even finish base training, to come with us. So for their first day in war in Gaza, they find themselves entering inside the APC and start with the offense. I must say, because we know that our soldiers are very brave, but bravery, it doesn't mean that people are not afraid. It means that they are afraid and they are overcome. And they were terrified. I made a decision to go inside their APC and lead the company from their APC. When we start the offense, everything went just fine, just like normal. We use a lot of fire force, and for a moment everything seems okay. But suddenly, outside of nowhere, I hear from the radio, one of my best friends, also a company commander, Golan, that say that he's under attack. He got an RPG inside his tank and he's hurt. I hear him saying, I said in Hebrew for a little bit, Kan kod kod, niftzati, kan kod kod. He said, this is the commander, I'm hurt, my deputy is taken in charge. And he just fell. We are starting to understand what happened, and after a moment, I hear also something from the radio. We went into a battalion ambush from a front and from behind. And I hear one of the company commander whisper without a voice, I got 1 dead soldier and 5 hurt people. What do you do? So that moment, I decided to turn around with my company, get it to the last company, and we engage with the terrorists. But after we kill the terrorists, there is the next stage. And the next stage is to take the wounded, take him out of the battlefield and bring him as soon as possible to the hospital. And also to take care of the dead body. And just before I went out with my soldiers, I just remember, these guys are in their first day in Gaza Strip, our first day in battle, and the first thing they're going to see when they went out from the APC is dead people that they might know. And it's something that went off the second, but I decided to go without them. I'm going just me and one of my soldiers, and we went out, and the first sight that you are seeing, it's a dead body, but you don't think a dead body like someone just fell on the floor. It's a direct hurt from an RPG, and that means that there is only head and different parts. What do? You are a company commander. You need to lead this whole operation, but you don't want your own soldiers for the first day to take their own hands and put a dead body inside a bag. So I decided to do it myself. This is the kind of chaotic reality that people in the battlefield are handling. And this is the kind of difficulty that means leadership. Afterwards, I put the dead body with my own hands inside the bag. I clean my hands on my uniforms, and I'm getting into my APC with a smile to my soldiers, and I said, come on, we are keep going, because we have the mission to complete. And we're going up, complete the mission, and getting our division inside Jabalia.
Thank you. Major, you're from the 669 669 Special Search and Rescue Unit. Before we delve into the very complex operations that you held, tell us about October 7th for you. You got married how many days before?
2 weeks.
So first of all, Mazel Tov. 2 weeks after you got married, where are you? Where you understand this happening? You're on your way back home from a honeymoon.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you again for coming here. I'm Yoav Marziano. I'm a major at Unit 669. I've been serving for the past 12 years. And at the 7th of October, I was just finishing my honeymoon with my wife, newly wedded wife. When we flew from Bangkok back to Israel, there was no war, and we landed at about 10:30, something like that. I think we were the last flight coming into Israel. And then we started, the phone started going crazy with text messages about something going off at the south. I was pretty optimistic. I said, it's probably another round. It's going to end in a few hours. And then when we went out of the gate, my father was there, which is unusual. He brought me my reserve duty bag and told me that I need to go south. And even though I was a major at the unit back then as well, I'm still taking order for my father. I took my bag and I went to the unit, and the next time I saw him was, I think, about 2 months later. Yeah, him, my wife, and yeah, everything.
Sorry, just checking. Yeah. So when you come to the field, what do you see in terms of when do you understand with your own eyes the atrocity?
So yeah, I think similar to what my fellows here mentioned, when we got to the field, I initially, a few hours later, I was after coming to the unit, I was at Urim base, which is about 5 kilometers from the strip, and again, we weren't sure if there's actual war going on, what exactly going on. Our first order was to get the civilians out of the shelters. So we went to the kibbutzes and tried to convince them that things are safe, that they can come out. And a couple of hours later, we realized that there's still war going on and there's still settlements under terrorist occupation. So I think at that point, after spending a few hours with civilians and giving them hugs and making sure that they're feeling safe and realizing that they're not actually safe and that the war is still going on, I realized how big the situation is.
You mentioned rescuing the civilians. There were moments there where you guys had to convince them that you were Israelis, that you were Jews. Did you also experience that? We heard stories of people having to say Shema Yisrael so people know that they're okay.
Yeah. So the most of the houses we came through were barely houses, and there's a lot of hard views in the houses, and I can't blame them for not understanding or not believing us that we're here to save them. But again, that's what we did in the first couple of hours, and then we were redirected toward treating wounded. So there's like way more injured soldier than someone could imagine at the beginning, and we mostly did triaging and trying to do those hard decisions: who's going into helicopter, who's going into ambulance, who's staying in the field, who is savable, and who is not. And yeah, I think that's mainly what being an operator at Unit 669 means. Those decision making under pressure, those life and death decisions, basically deciding who is going to get out of the field and who is not.
Thank you very much. Achia, you know, we're going to hear here today a lot. Then we fought. Then we came in and fought. Just give us the feeling, or even the practical understanding about the fighting itself. You go into a kibbutz, you're in Kisufim. What are you doing there? Where do you understand that the terrorists are? When do you start seeing civilians? Just give us a feeling of what went on there.
Okay, so we got to the entry of Kisufim. It was only 2 teams for my unit. My team was 9 fighters and the other team was 13. And we haven't the equipment, only 6 magazines, without dogs, without grenades, without drones, without nothing. And we just met 2 people from Golani, from the outpost near Kisufim. They told us that most of them wounded or dead, and there is a lot of terrorists, and we don't know nothing. So we just get inside to the kibbutz. I remember I was
In the front, one of the first.
In the front, and I walk first, and I don't know where's the terrorist. There is shooting everywhere. You can hear the missiles, and suddenly I saw someone look at me from a shelter. So it was a woman with their kids. And suddenly you walk, and there is a lot of bodies, and someone ran to my direction with a dog, also civilians. And it's a really confused situation, and you can't know. זה יכול להיות מכל מקום.
Could come from any side.
Yeah.
At what point were you wounded?
We התחלנו לחפש, to search inside the houses, terrorists. As you asked them, כמו שאלת מקודם, we get inside to the house, and people נעלו את עצמם בתוך
They locked
המקלט.
themselves in the shelter rooms.
והיינו צריכים לשכנע אותם שאנחנו צה"ל.
Again, about trying to get. No, tell us a bit about that. You're screaming to them. They're in the shelters. What are you telling them?
They take the door take it close, and we say, אנחנו צה"ל, אנחנו כאן, כאילו באנו לחלץ אתכם.
It's IDF, we're here to save you.
Yes. And we pass house after house, and in some of the houses, we get inside 5 people inside the house and start shooted, and you can hear what is a kalach shoot and what is our gun.
The AK, it's a different sound.
AK. And at the beginning I thought they shot on the window on me, so I fell on the ground, and I heard from outside, in Hebrew say, Pasal nafal patsua, it means
Pasal fell and he's wounded.
Fell is in this wounded, Pasal is our commander unit. So I look it from the window, he got shot in his chest, and we was without, בלי חובשים, בלי רופאים.
No medics even, there was just combat fighters, and the medics weren't even there.
And I thought, okay, he's not gonna survive because we're stuck here now. And so the people that was outside take care of him, and we got outside from the other side to kill the terrorists. We shoot on them from the house and then go outside. And when we go outside, so I was second. I have a friend, Vitali. He was in front of me, and they again start shooting. He fell on the ground, and I stand behind the wall. And after, I remember I felt the ricochet from the wall broken on my face. And then after a few moments, I saw grenade inside here, and ברימון יש לו כאילו 3 שניות עד שמתפוצץ.
So 3 seconds.
Yes, and I thought, okay, I know that if you're in radius of 8 meters, you're gonna die, and 50 meters it's טווח פציעה.
You can be wounded.
You can be wounded. And I was 1 meter, so I thought, okay, this is it. And then you start to, your brain is, זה עובד על 200, כאילו, עובד...
The brain thinks it's...
כן. I thought maybe I can throw the grenade, maybe, but if I throw it, it's hurt Vitali. No, maybe I need to kick it. No, there is a thing there.
This is all in 3 seconds.
So yes, and this is, now I did, this is my last moment, and I decide to jump to the other side.
That saved your life.
Yes.
Well, so we'll talk about the wounded, the injury, dealing with it soon. Rotem, I want to continue already into Gaza. As you and your unit with the dogs are in Gaza, explain to us how life-saving, and I know of many stories, people were saved by these dogs. It's just amazing. Tell us a bit. You basically, your unit, you have representatives with each Golani, Givati, Tzanchanim, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about
So, my unit took part like in the most of the areas fighting in Gaza. Mine personally, I was with Golani, so I will tell you one incident that I was in, and I will tell you more incidents. I had one incident that we were in the middle of operation. We tried to get inside an apartment, and we had an intelligence that there is a dead body of hostage inside. We joined units like team of 4 people, 2 reserved soldiers and 2 mandatory soldiers with the dogs, and 1 attack dog, and the other one is explosive detecting dog. So my fellow with the explosive detecting dog sent his dog inside this apartment, and it has searched for a couple of minutes inside, and the dog set, and it means that there is an explosive in the apartment. And we looked inside, and we saw a big blue barrel, and we went outside, and then Yalom unit went inside, and they discover a very big explosive inside this barrel.
It's all thanks to the dog.
Thanks to the dog, and we were supposed to be inside. the whole team inside. So this dog saved our life and a lot more lives in this incident specifically.
So tell us about when you were wounded.
When I was wounded, okay, so I worked with a team, with a force that I didn't work with till this moment. I joined them in the middle of operation. They asked for dogs because they knew that the dogs are saving lives. So they didn't want to keep moving. They just told us, listen, we need dogs. We're not moving a single meter without dogs. So we accepted the request and joined them. And there is a method when how you send the dogs. First of all, you send a detective dog to search in the entering of the apartment. And if it's clear, you send the attack dog inside. It's searched inside. And if it's clear, you enter the apartment and search for what you need. So the first apartment, we sent the two dogs. It was clear. We got inside, and then the plan was to keep moving towards the second apartment, also with intelligence of a lot of terrorists and guns, vests. So me and another 3 soldiers started to run towards the entering of the apartment, and we were like 20 meters from the entering, and unfortunately there was an explosive on the door that exploded on me. I was the first soldier, the closest soldier to the door, and the explosive exploded on me. I was critically injured. The other 3 had no scratch, fortunately. So I was injured. I had 2 shrapnels, a big one inside my chest and another one in my left hand. And luckily my dog had nothing, no scratch, no injury, nothing. And I will tell you about a situation that it's kind of funny, but my instinct was first to check my dog. I started to look for Hugo, and I told my fellow, listen, check Hugo if it's okay. It's my instinct and all my friends' instinct. I can say it 100%. So I checked Hugo, and when you're injured, you can say it as well. I don't know, but you have something like half a minute or a minute to understand, to know that you're injured, and you don't feel the pain for like 10-15 minutes. Yeah, because of the adrenaline. So I told my fellow, check Hugo, and I started to check him if it's okay. And I looked at my fellow and I told him, it's okay. So everything is okay. And he looked at me like this, shocked. And I say to him, what's going on? Are you okay? And he said, you're bleeding from your chest and your left hand. What? I told him, what? I look at it like this, and I had like a blood flow from here. And yeah, I immediately took my, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, tourniquet, yeah. I took my tourniquet and started to take care of myself. And then it took like 6 minutes to evacuate me and Hugo to a place that called Mignon. I don't know how to explain it in English. A shelter, yeah, a shelter. And then we were both rushed to the hospital together. And I will tell you about a nice moment. Someone took a video from the trauma room, and Hugo, which was perfectly fine, jumped on my bed in Soroka, and that's a famous video, if you know.
Circulating the web.
Yeah, so it's me.
We'll talk about signatures after. With you, Major Amit, I want to go up a level and talk a bit about the spirit, because and we're also going to talk with your other colleagues here about the spirit. When you're there on the field, what motivates everyone? Is it what they saw on October 7th? Is it just the togetherness? Is it the orders that they don't want their commander to yell at them? Are they terrified and they're acting like robots? What is there inside, in their neshama, in their soul? What's motivating them during these scary hours and days?
Okay, we fight for a long time. Months and months of fighting. Every one of my soldiers saw the thing that happened on 7th of October. But when you've been in so much pressure for so much time, you get tired. You get tired. You can see the videos and everybody looks smiling, but you get tired. But every once in a while inside Gaza, when you feel a little tired, you get another proof for the reason you're in there, and I give you one example of one of our offense against a place that was a school but became a terror base. We need to purify it. After we finished this purifying, I went to the library, and specifically to the English sector. There is an English sector inside it. And I took out the book, and this name of the book was The Crying Mosque. And I opened it up, and I watched pictures of small little children, and it's written all in English. They say, the Jews took the Al-Aqsa Mosque from us. We need to do anything that it's necessary to take it back. And in the end of the book, you can see little children all over Israel, and you can see it on the map, holding knives, weapons, and everything that you don't want to imagine. You can also see it inside of children's bedroom, that the worst terrorists that you ever had are putting on posters inside their bedrooms. So in every day you are inside Gaza, you get a clear memory that this is not just Israeli-Palestinian problem. It's not. You can see the pure anti-Semitism, the pure evil, and the pure way of brainwash of young children that hopefully for them will do the same thing as their fathers or brothers did to us here in the 7th of October. So anytime you get tired a little bit, you don't want to stay, you want to go back home, you get a pure reminder that show you the reason you're here and why are you there. And I think I said it on Thursday, but there is also an old saying in the military that if we are not going to work with each other, we're going to lay next to each other. And this is something that everybody, especially in my teams, know. And the way that people are working together in such a harsh time, it's something that combined us. It's something that makes us a one unit. And when you work like this with time, you get this togetherness, give you lots and lots of power, the same power that I see here today.
Major Yoav, you, thank God, you weren't wounded, but I do want to talk to you about the encounters with those wounded, because that's what you do. You know, I heard a story that this week there were soldiers that were wounded in the north. They're from the Golani Brigade. And a friend who saw them on their way out said the following. There's two soldiers lying there. One is praying, Shema Yisrael, saying psukim, saying mishnayot. The other one is saying those they wouldn't get them. That's Am Yisrael, that's Golani. Tell us about the encounters with these wounded at the moments where on the one hand they're in pain. On the other hand, I understand that sometimes you're inspired by them even in those moments.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, this is the second time I'm in Gaza fighting. I also took part in Operation Protective Edge back in 2014. And I think that there's that's I think the special thing about Unit 669 is those encounters with the wounded. And there's a say in Israel, if you save one soul, it's like you save the whole world. And I think having the privilege of working and saving life day by day is just an amazing experience. And I can give one example. So at one point, we were inside, so historically Unit 669 is rescuing by helicopters, but 669 realized that helicopters can go into every places. So we used vehicles, mobile vehicles, and then we realized that even those vehicles are too heavy, and so we invented some very original and really Israel way to how to rescue life and how to be there as fast as we can when there are injured soldiers. And so at one point we got to Division 98. They got an RPG. There was 6 injured soldiers, and one of them appeared to be dead. And we were contemplating, are we going to take all the 5 or are we going to take the 6? If we're taking the other one with us, that means that we have less room on our vehicles to give medical treatment. And the medical treatment at the first few seconds is basically the most important thing. And that's the only way to really save life is in those critical 10, 15 minutes. And so there was split seconds of thinking, are we going to take him or are we not going to take him? There's fire all over the place. We called the Air Force, so 669 is an Air Force unit. We have a close touch with the Air Force, so we called the Air Force to help us get ourselves around. And then we decided to take him, even though that might harm the medical treatment of all the 5 others. And we gave him the injured soldier that appeared to be the treatment. We gave him blood, and there's like amazing video from the 669 operator camera. I think it's about less than a minute after he started receiving the blood, the injured soldier is taking like some kind of like a healing breath, and he just basically came back from the dead. And that was I remember. So that kind of situation. And I mean, we could just as much leave him behind to save the other 5, and that decision to take him saved his life, and is all right now, and he got back from hospital. Thank you. And that was I'm trying to say is that that's those life and death decision, the decision making under pressure. That's what war is all about. And I agree with what Amit said about the chaos and chaotic way of war, and how we need to make sense out of all that chaos.
Thank you very much. Now, I wanted to continue now as we're coming to the end of this important session to talk about the fact that you guys are here. Just to imagine each one of you at different times throughout the past year, we're out there covered with mud, blood in many cases, and now you're here in the Hilton in Washington with friends who are a family, with your brothers and sisters. And it was important for all of you to be here, and it is important for you to talk, and you'll be talking with people as you, and also as you walk around here. So let's talk about that. Why is it important for you to be here, and what is it important for you that people understand about as we go on as a nation?
I have two reasons that I came here. I think the important reason is to talk about my friend that they are not here today and they are dead. And I think that this is the important thing. And I'll start with this. I want to talk about my friend,
The duo, I would say.
Okay, his name Vitali. He was my roommate, he was my team friend, He made Aliyah from Russia when he was 13. And he was the sharpshooter, kalachod.
Sharpshooter.
Okay? And really, he was the bravest guy that I ever met. Really. Every time he told me, listen, I am the first, you are not the first. We are going together, but if we are getting inside, I am the first, not you. He was a really funny guy, שטותניק, very smart guy, ישראלי כזה, הוא פתח חברה קטנה כזאת.
He even had his own startup.
Yes, not the startup, אבל כאילו...
We improved. He had a kiosk, he had a startup.
And really, he was a good friend, like a team friend. I can't imagine, לא יכול להעביר לכם את התחושות, כאילו.
It's hard to put it into words.
Yes. And I want to talk about him and shortly, and another four, I have a lot of from my unit, and other four guys. Ori Shani was also in my team, and he's killed in Kisufim with Golani 51. And also another three guys from my company, they killed also in Kisufim. Amit Peled from Haifa, Yonatan Sevitsky from Modi'in, and Elad Sasson from Moza, it's near Jerusalem. And this is it now.
Thank you very much. Rotem.
So I have also a couple of reasons why I came here. First of all, I wanted to tell you about the situation better, about Israel, about the situation, about the war. For the American citizens here, I don't think they go through these situations and this feeling. When you're in Israel, you feel the war like you have a physical feeling. You feel the stress, and here it's like I just wanted to share the feeling. And another reason I wanted to, as you know, when you tell your story, when you spread your message in front of people, it helps you to rehab, to analyze, to understand better your story. And when you repeat the same story over and over and over again, it helps you a lot. Me personally, I can say it had helped me a lot. And in this journey, a lot. I did it a lot of times, so I wanted to say thank you for coming and hearing me and my other fellows here. And also, I came here to represent my foundation, Oketz Foundation. They helped me a lot through my rehab. I've been hospitalized for 4 months in the hospital. They keep me contact every week. So as you know, the unit is fighting. They have a lot of things to do, and that's where the foundation comes and helps you through your rehab and through your hard situations. So also I want to thank the foundation a lot, and that's it.
Major Amit, you lost one of your eyes, your eyesight in one of your eyes as you were wounded. But what's obvious to us today, and we heard you also Thursday, is that you have an Ain Tova. You're looking at our nation through what we call, and we learn in the Mishnah, Ain Tova, through a good eye. So let's end with a few good words through your eyesight of the people here and our situation today.
This war took a lot from me. In my brigade, we lost or got injured 11 company commanders from 20 company commanders in all the brigade. My brigade is kind of one that commanders are learning to go from ahead and fight before every one of their soldiers. When I sit in my hospital bed was almost the first time that I opened my phone since almost October 7 and we got from Gaza. The one thing that I remember in the day we entered the Gaza Strip, that I remember that I had a back. I felt a full consensus, not only national one, but worldwide. When I went to my hospital bed and I opened my phone and I saw all the riots here in the US, I've been shocked. I've been shocked. And then I realized something that I hope that everybody here realize very, very well right now. The battle isn't just in Gaza or Beirut or in Tehran. It's all a big funded campaign by Iran, and it's also in the media and the campuses and everyone else. And what I want to say to you tonight, that even though you are not in the battlefield right now, each and one of you is a soldier of the Jewish people tonight, and every which of one of you represent it. And the only way that we could, as a nation, to prevail, is to be organized, to be prepared, and first of all, to be united. And this is my message for everyone that is sitting right here.
Major Yoav, how do you summarize this important session?
Yeah, so I think my final word would be, I moved here to United States 4 months ago to Boston. I'm pursuing my MBA at MIT, and I've been sent here to speak through the American Friends of Unit 669. And my final word is, we've been fighting anti-Semitism in Gaza. We have been fighting in Lebanon, and now I'm here, we're fighting it in the campuses, and this is what the Jewish people are all about. We will keep fighting anti-Semitism now and forever.
Thank you very much, and I just wanted to end with a message from a fallen friend of mine. You know, Elisha, who you saw last night, lost his legs in one of the explosions in Gaza. In the same incident, a friend of ours, Yossi, was killed. During Yossi's funeral, Yossi was actually a teacher in New York for a few years. In his funeral, we were praying for Elisha. Elisha, as you see, is out there speaking. Yossi left us with a message. You know, we're all talking about unity, how much we have to be together, how this togetherness is important, how we have to hold on to it. But the question is, do we have a tool? How do we actually do it? And he gave us a solution. He sent a video from his service, from down there in South, asking his students, asking all of us, don't speak bad about one another. Don't speak Lashon Hara. We have too much Lashon Hara. We're not going to hold on to the unity just with the, kitschy phrase of unity is important. We have to work on it. And that's by speaking, as we said, Ain Tova, speaking good, refraining from any bad words about each other, and continuing together. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, everyone.